Well, this is wonderful. Hello everyone and welcome back. I am so sorry that it has taken me this long to make another YouTube video. I figured that as the winter break is approaching that I should film a few videos and get them up for you all. And I wanted to start with a Q&A because it's been a while since I've done one. Let's just get started. Okay, so the first question I have is, what is your day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month process of learning a new concerto? Well, that depends. It depends on how much time I have. It also depends on what I'm preparing it for. But if, for instance, if I have a lot of time to learn a concerto, the first thing I do is listen to as many recordings of it as I possibly can before I go crazy. Let's say you're learning like the Brahms Violin Concerto. I mean, I would listen to all of my favorite current violinists and some old timer violinists that I really love and basically gather like all the musical ideas, phrasing, you know, all of their signature moves that maybe I would want to incorporate or try out in my own take. The main thing for me is making sure that I get all the notes down right away and making sure they're all right. Sometimes I'll go through a piece very quickly and I just learn wrong notes, and I know myself, if I learn wrong notes, it's very hard to unlearn the wrong notes and correct them. So that's the first step for me. The second step would be to, you know, start working on it technically. So intonation and certain, you know, techniques like, you know, if there's any staccato in it, if there's fingered octaves in it, very difficult technical passages that I want to make sure that I get down right away. And then the last step for me is creating my own musical take and experimenting, taking all those recordings that I took in, and as I'm working on it technically, I also sort of add in like, ooh, that would sound kind of nice if I did this here. And as you work on things technically, you also kind of run things as well, you know, that's just part of it. So I kind of combine the technical and the musical, but at the very last stage, working on sound production and phrasing and making it as unique but also as true to the score as I possibly can. So put all those combined, I would say that it takes me a few weeks to fully be comfortable performing a concerto in front of a lot of people. It varies from person to person. A lot of people can learn concertos in a week and a lot of people can learn concertos in a year. For me to be super comfortable takes me a few weeks, so yeah. What's one piece you've played so much that you no longer like it? Oh my goodness. I feel like I do this thing where I'll learn a concerto, I'll learn a piece, and I just kind of use it for everything. Recordings, applications, like recitals, gigs, you know. If there's one piece in my mind like right away, I don't think I hate this piece. I don't even think I dislike it. It's just that I'm kind of over it. You know, like it's now it's overrated. I'm just kind of done doing it. But I played the Sibelius Violin Concerto for quite some time, like from 2017 to 2019, and I played it for like literally everything. And I have to say I'm a little tired of it. I wouldn't say I dislike it, but I'm a little tired of it. But other than that, I try to move on kind of quickly, but with concertos, I try to stick to one so that I don't have to, you know, constantly learn a gigantic piece with other things that I'm doing. So that's the recent one that I can think of that I'm, you know, a little over. Okay, this is an interesting one. So this is the question of, do you need an expensive violin to play really well? I think the short answer is no, you don't need an expensive violin. I think that it helps to have a really nice violin, and usually, yes, the more expensive the violin is, the better it is. I have to say though that I did most of my international competitions on a modern violin made in 2008. Yeah, almost all of my international competitions were on a modern violin that, you know, was not as expensive as you know, some violins out there, like it wasn't even close to a Violin price. So no, the answer is really no. If you have good sound, good musicality, and good technique, you can make any violin sound really good. But, you know, once you reach a certain point and you're going into this professionally, it's important to also invest in an expensive violin to, you know, help certain things like sound quality and projection. That's the biggest difference, I think, between modern violins and you know, Strats, you know, that they just project so well. Okay, I got this question actually a few times, so I'm very happy to answer this. When did you decide / how did you know that you wanted to pursue music? Actually, very, very early on. I started violin when I was 4 years old, and I think I was 7 when I sat down at the dinner table and told my parents that I wanted to play violin for the rest of my life. Yeah, that's pretty much it. For me, it was like the only thing I ever wanted to do. It made me happy. I loved performing when I was very young, and from then on, it was just full force into violin, and it snowballed into what we are doing today. So, could you tell us about your college audition experiences and maybe some tips? Yes, I can. So, I auditioned for my undergrad to 4 schools. I auditioned for the Colburn Conservatory, which I ended up choosing Curtis, Juilliard, and the New England Conservatory, and that was it. That's honestly all I had money to audition for. I probably would have taken more and probably would have loved to audition in Europe, but I didn't have enough money at the time. I didn't come from a financially stable background. It was long, it was strenuous, it was tiring. I remember I had my Juilliard audition and my NEC audition back to back. I went from like Boston to New York like within a couple days. And I was so tired by the time I got to New York that I felt like I hadn't really played my best. It was tiring. So when you're choosing or, you know, asking for audition dates, try to plan it so that it's not too close to everything else. Don't make the mistake I did. My Colburn audition was like a week later. It was fine, it was totally great. Obviously I liked it so much that I decided to go to Colburn, and now I'm continued my studies at Colburn, and now I'm doing my master's, so there's that. And then my Curtis audition was last. The Curtis auditions, I think, they go a little later, so you have a little bit of time. I think Curtis also asks for more repertoire, so that's even better. But it was fine. You know, I had been competing a lot during my high school years. I was competing a lot nationally and internationally, so I was kind of used to the whole like grind of needing to be ready with a lot of music and needing to play it, you know, in high pressure situations really well. But truthfully, I don't really remember every single feeling that I felt. That was like 6 years ago. But I do remember being very stressed out, but I used pretty much, if I could use the same concerto, the same showpiece, the same Bach, the same Paganini Caprice, I did. So that was really helpful. Just to have like the same pieces for all the auditions really helps. This is an interesting one. How do you balance your music studies and your social media presence with your personal life? Man, I wish I had a good answer for this, because I have to say it's very difficult. You know, I think I've mentioned this on my Instagram stuff before, but this Instagram was kind of an accident. I didn't really mean for it to get so big. I just posted a video, and within like a few days I had like 10,000 views on it, which was crazy. I'd never posted a video of myself playing before, but ever since, people have been asking me to, you know, to continue posting, and I have taken many long breaks from social media. You know, I try to keep my personal life very personal. I don't really like sharing too much about, you know, just a lot of aspects of my life. I really like to keep it very business. That's what keeps the balance, is to keep the really nice personal things and also some of the bad things to yourself, but also to recognize that social media is just this crazy chaos of people only portraying the good things, right? So I've been trying a lot recently to share some of the bad things, you know, some things that have been happening in my life that weren't so great, and I've gotten really great responses from it. People DMing me and telling me that they were so grateful that I shared that I wasn't doing well and that they didn't feel so alone. With music studies, I've also had to have a very difficult conversation with myself and realize that my degree is first and foremost my priority, and that if that's taking over a little bit, I have to put social media on the side for a bit, which I have done, which is why this video is coming out so late. Degree first, social media second. That's pretty much how I view it. I'm gonna cap it off for today. I'm sure I will do some more Q&As in the future, but I'm sorry this video has come so late. The semester is ending, and hopefully I will come out with some more practice vlogs. And I actually also got some great ideas from this question sticker for upcoming videos. Hit that like and subscribe button. That would mean so much to me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.